Greetings. Welcome to our REDSHORT webinar for this Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. My name is JD Thomason. I am an analyst with Red Sky Alliance, and today I'll be walking you through a short discussion on a recent social engineering campaign by the Lazarus Group that has been targeting developers on GitHub. As always, you can find information on related topics at redskyalliance.org. So here is the agenda for today. We'll begin by giving some background information on the Lazarus Group, including the type of work they're generally involved in, their aliases, and a few details on previous attacks. Next, we'll give a brief overview on social engineering attacks as they are the focus of this campaign. Then we'll go over the general attack chain of this campaign and how targets are chosen. Lastly, we'll go over some common mitigation techniques provided by GitHub regarding this incident. So let's get started. To begin, who is the Lazarus Group? The Lazarus Group is a North Korea state-sponsored cybercrime group. They are said to have been created by the North Korean government as early as 2007, and they are a part of RGB, which is North Korea's primary foreign intelligence agency. Lazarus Group would appear to be the primary identity of the group, but they do have a number of aliases like Appleworm, Group 77, Guardians of Peace, Hidden Cobra, Jade Sleet. They target institutions in many areas such as government, military, finance, manufacturing, publishing, among many others. Their typical tactics include cyber espionage, data theft, heist, destructive malware, and, as we'll see shortly, social engineering. They have been involved in a variety of malicious activities, like the WannaCry 2.0 ransomware, which affected approximately 300,000 computers in at least 150 different countries. The 2014 attacks on Sony Pictures, and the theft of $81 million from Bangladesh Bank in 2016. This social engineering campaign is similar to another Lazarus campaign that took place in January of 2021, where cybersecurity researchers were targeted for collaborations on vulnerability exploit research and took advantage of malicious Visual Studio projects. Social engineering can be thought of as the process of manipulating, influencing, or deceiving someone in order to obtain something like private information, restricted access, or valuables. As they will generally require some form of communication between attacker and victim, social engineering attacks are built around how people typically think and behave. The goals of social engineering attacks will typically be either sabotage or theft. Common types of social engineering attacks found in the digital world can include things like phishing, baiting, physical breaches like tailgating, or scareware like a malicious antivirus ad giving a false report. The attack cycle of a social engineering attack will generally have 4 stages. First is preparation, where information is gathered on an individual target or a target group. Next is infiltration, which is where communication is started and trust is built. Exploitation occurs when the target's weaknesses and trusts align in such a way that allows for an advancement of the attack, and then the attacker will disengage once all of the required actions have been taken by the target. GitHub released a security alert detailing the specifics of this campaign and its attack chain on July 18th. The threat actors begin by impersonating either developers or recruiters by utilizing accounts on GitHub and other social media sites. In some cases, the accounts were fake, and in other cases, the accounts were compromised. Fake accounts that were linked to this campaign have been found on LinkedIn, Slack, and Telegram. Developers are being targeted in blockchain, cryptocurrency, online gambling, and cybersecurity. After contact has been established, targets are invited into collaboration projects which contain malicious NPM package dependencies. These packages act as first-stage downloaders, which download and execute secondary malware. The projects themselves seem to mostly involve either media players or cryptocurrency trading tools. The first instances of the NPM usage pattern exhibited by this campaign were first discovered by Phylum Research in June of 2023. They noted the sophistication of the technique as the execution order of the packages used is crucial to the success of the infection. The attack is spread across a pair of ordered NPM packages. The first package will fetch and store a token from a remote server, which is then used by a second package to obtain malicious code from a remote server. So in terms of mitigation, we can begin by noting that GitHub has listed a number of indicators like domain names, malicious NPM packages, and malicious NPM accounts on their blog. We have most of the indicators listed over here on the right, but for the most up-to-date information, the link to this specific blog post can be found at the bottom of this slide. So anyone who was solicited by known malicious accounts are likely a target of this campaign. Repository invites can be reviewed in the GitHub security log. The events to look for are action::repo.addMember events. And these indicate that you have accepted an invite to a repository. Think twice before accepting solicitations to collaborate or install projects with NPM dependencies. Extra scrutiny should be given to new or recently published NPM dependencies or scripts that make network connections during installation. Anyone affected by these projects should inform their employer's cybersecurity department, and it may also be prudent to reset or wipe affected devices, change account passwords, and rotate tokens that are stored on affected devices. Let us wrap up. First, we gave a brief overview on the Lazarus Group. They are a North Korea state-sponsored cybercrime group said to have been operating since as early as 2007. They have several aliases like Jade Sleep, Guardians of Peace, and they operate in many areas like government, military, finance, among others. Next, we highlighted some key points about social engineering attacks. These attacks aim to deceive someone in such a way that an attacker can obtain things like information or restricted access. Attacks like phishing or baiting are under the umbrella of social engineering, and a social engineering attack cycle will normally have 4 stages: preparation, infiltration, exploitation, and disengagement. Then, we went over some details on the attack chain of the recent campaign targeting developers on GitHub. Developers are being targeted in several different areas, including blockchain, cryptocurrency, online gambling, and cybersecurity, for the purpose of collaborating on projects like media players or cryptocurrency trading tools. These can contain malicious NPM package dependencies, which act as first-stage downloaders for additional malware. Finally, we covered a few mitigation tips for this attack that were distributed by GitHub. They have a list of known malicious accounts listed on their blog, and anyone who has collaborated with these accounts is likely a target. Users can review their security logs on GitHub to see if they've been added to any suspicious projects. Users should also take extra care when examining the package dependencies and installation scripts of a project, particularly if newer NPM packages are involved. And that is all for today. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the material and found it useful. If you have any further questions on the subject, you can contact us via Jim McKee at jmckee@redskyalliance.com. As always, you can find information on related topics at redskyalliance.org. Have a nice day, and we hope to see you again next week.